What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome back to the Dapper Snapper Gaming channel, and welcome back to How Do I Want to Do This? This is our series where we take a look at all playable options available to players in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, then we rank them on a scale of 1 to 10 and either build them or fix them depending on how they rank. Now today we finish up our talks not only on the Undying Warlock, but just the Warlock in general. It is a bittersweet moment as we finish up yet another class, the penultimate class, and we move into Wizard starting next week, and I am super excited about that. But before we do that, make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Also, make sure to share the video with your friends, and of course, click the bell so you're notified when new videos are uploaded. Another great way to support the channel is by becoming a member down below. Down there, by clicking that join button, you can actually become a member of the channel, and it's a great way to support me, and you also get some really nice perks with it. At the lowest tier, the Bronze Snapper, that is the most popular tier, it comes with all of my subclass guides and my subclass fixes, including the one we're talking about today. So you'll have a PDF that you can keep and use at your table, give to your DM, use as a PC, NPC, whatever you want to do. It is there for you to use, and it's a nice little resource, a nice way for me to give back to my community for those who are wanting to support just a little bit further. And of course, there are higher tiers that allow you to go even further. And one quick announcement before we get into the video today. I want to mention once again our live stream coming up on Thursday. We will have a live stream on Thursday afternoon. We're going to be playing some Backyard Baseball 97, the new remastered version of this classic game. A lot of people that are my age probably remember this. I grew up on this game and played it so much that the CD-ROM actually broke because I played it too much. And yeah, it's awesome. It's a lot of fun, but we are going to be raising money for people who are affected by Hurricane Helene. I personally was somebody affected, although 0% of that money is going to me. It is going to other victims who are in the area, and I am very excited to be hanging out. We're going to have some awesome goals there. I know none of you have ever seen my baby on the internet, and maybe there's an incentive for that. I don't know. We'll just have to see. But so I hope to see you all there on Thursday afternoon. So that is all the fun stuff. So let's start talking about the Undying Warlock. Now, like all of my other fixed videos, this one's going to be pretty casual, right? I'm going to try to do the least amount of cutting and editing and that kind of thing, although I've probably already done that a couple of times by now. But I try to keep these videos very simple, more just kind of, I don't want to say word vomit, but I try to kind of let you see where my mind is going when I make these fixes. And then of course that way you all can suggest changes and see, you know, what may be different, what needs to be changed, that kind of thing. None of this is play tested, just like always, but we are going to suggest different ways to play this and different ways to change it around. And I am excited to be bringing that to you today. Of course, there will be nothing on the screen. Of course, if you want the build guide, all of that is available to all of my members, so you know how to get a hold of that. So starting off, we have our expanded spell list, and I made very little changes to this actually. I'm not the biggest fan of the spell list as it is. However, there aren't a lot of spells out there that really fit this all that well, at least any better than what's already on the list. So thematically it all fits. So False Life, Ray of Sickness, Blindness, Deafness, Silence, I kept all of that the same. However, we did swap in Revivify alongside of Speak with Dead. Now, I've been seeing people online wanting to give Animate Dead to this. No, I do not want to give Animate Dead to somebody that recharges spell slots on a short rest. No, I don't want to do that. So we are not doing Animate Dead. And really, the thing about this subclass is that it's not a necromancer. That's not the point, right? It is that you are kind of being held on the verge of undeath, right? And your patron is someone that is seeking undeath, right? Like this kind of lich figure. And so I don't think that Animate Dead actually makes sense for this anyway. So we're not doing that. Again, we're keeping Aura of Life, Death Ward, Contagion, Legend Lore, all that. So basically just giving Revivify because I think that's more useful than what was there before. And besides that, we're keeping everything the same, which is fine, right? So we're off to an okay start, but it will get a lot better, I promise. So at level 1, we are going to actually be getting 2 features instead of 1, and we're going to be making a lot of shifts here, right? There are going to be a lot of things that need to be different in order for this to be useful, and so this is what we're going to do. Level 1, we are getting Undying Nature. I kept the names of most of these things, and I actually had to add a feature in this, and you'll see what I mean a little bit later. But Undying Nature, we are going to gain the benefits, basically almost all of them, that the reborn race would get, right? We're going to get advantage on death saves. We don't need to eat, breathe, drink, and we don't need to sleep. Magic can't put us to sleep. We get the 4-hour long rest, right? This also is going to include the slow aging that we were getting at level 10. That's not a 10th level feature, that's a level 1 feature. So we're gonna put that here at level 1. So Undying Nature now, I think, is far better than what it was before, allowing us to, at least the biggest thing is having advantage on death saves. And this is going to combo well with some things that we get a little bit later, including Among the Dead. So this is our other 1st level feature. So we're again going to get the Spare the Dying cantrip. That is the same. We have advantage on saving throws against disease. That's the same. And it gets a little bit different when we get to the healing portion of this. That's right, we're stealing the healing portion here already at level 1. We're not waiting until level 6 to get the healing portion, and we have backed up the whole undead have a hard time hitting you thing. We have backed that up. That's going to be coming later. But for right now, we're going to regain 1d8 plus our Constitution modifier when we succeed a death saving throw or stabilize a creature with Spare the Dying. So that's totally fine. However, this is going to scale. At levels 10 and 14, we add an additional d8. I thought about adding another d8 at level 6. Let me know. Let me know if you think that I should, but it would be a total of 3d8 plus your con mod every time you do that, and it's proficiency times per day, not once per rest. So that is much, much better. I don't think that 1d8 plus our con mod right now is going to make a big difference at all. And so we start to now shape what this Warlock actually is. This is kind of a tank Warlock. This is what this is. It is taking life and adding it to ourselves whenever we cheat death or whenever we help someone else do the same, which is really, really cool. So this is a way to get ourselves back up on a death save, which we have advantage on, which is great. Or when we help somebody else get up from, or at least stabilize anyway, this allows you to get the heal on yourself while doing that. So you don't help the other person out all that much. It's a little selfish, but that's totally fine. You still have stabilized that creature, and now you are feeling a little bit better yourself. You might have to word that in a way where it's like, yeah, I helped you, but I also took a little bit of your life force. I don't know. Maybe your friends won't trust you all that much. I don't know. But then at level 6, we get Defy Death, and this is where we're getting the more defensive feature that we would have gotten before. The issue with that is that it was only limited to undead creatures, which is stupid. It's so incredibly narrow in its application that I don't think it was worth it. So now it is much, much more broad. Now, if a creature targets you directly with an attack or harmful spell, same wording as before, that creature must make a wisdom saving throw against your spell saving throw DC. Undead creatures have disadvantage on this save. So undead still are much worse off in this than before, right? And so that's kind of the whole thing. But this now works on all creatures. However, one save and they're good for 24 hours, same as before, right? It's not a busted feature because of that. They only have to pass once, any enemy only has to pass once, and then immunity for 24 hours. So that's something that is a little tough. And of course, a creature is also immune if you target it with a harmful attack or spell. So there are a couple of ways for this to get turned off. Otherwise, it sounds really broken, but it really isn't, just because if you attack it, it goes away. If it attacks you and passes the save, it goes away. So is it a great feature? But there's a chance that you could take 0 damage. and that's worth it. That's honestly worth it. So make sure to crank that charisma as high as you can go. In addition, I wanted to add something else to this feature because I felt like it needed a little more just because it can be kicked off like that. And so we added a feature that we're actually borrowing from the Zealot Barbarian, which is really fun. So if a spell, such as Raise Dead, has the sole effect of restoring you to life, but not Undeath, the caster does not need material components. This, I felt, made way too much sense on something like this. And there are plenty of features that get borrowed and passed between a couple of different subclasses, and this just made way too much sense coming from the Zealot. Being able to be raised back up, that's our whole thing, right? Now, is this ever going to happen? It's unlikely without taking multiple hits when already down, but the thing is, if you're cheating death constantly, your DM is going to probably do that and just keep hitting you while you're down in order to force those failed death saves. So that could be a thing. That could be a thing, and this allows you to more easily be brought back, which is really, really good. Those material components are very costly when it comes to your Revivifies and your Raised Deads and your that kind of thing, but this takes a lot of that away, which is really, really nice. At level 10, we are going to get a new feature that I am labeling, and we're going to call it Siphon Mortality. I think that name sounds cool, at least that's just me. But so we're going to become closer to Undeath. We're now immune to being exhausted, and we have resistance to poison damage. The poison damage thing probably isn't going to come up all that much. Exhaustion might, it just depends. And this also would create a really nice synergy with the Berserker Barbarian as well, just because now you have exhaustion immunity, and so now you can rage like crazy and frenzy like crazy, which is kind of cool. So definitely something to consider in that route, although there's a lot of things that kind of get in the way in that multi-class. So is it optimal? Probably not. But in addition to this, the whole siphoning part is that we can now steal life force from other creatures. When we hit a creature with an attack, we now heal half of the damage dealt. Now, this is not every time, that would be busted, so we can do this a number of times, equal to our proficiency bonus, no more than once per turn. And so I think that that's a decent way to balance this, where you can spam it turn by turn, but you can't spam it all in one turn. I think that's just a little bit better as far as that goes, because otherwise you just kind of pound something with Eldritch Blast and then just keep healing a bunch, right? Especially if you have like Agonizing Blast and that kind of thing. So I don't think that that's the way to do it. So obviously this would be per attack roll, so one attack, not the entirety of casting an Eldritch Blast or something like that. It would be the one attack. So something to keep in mind there. But I think that this is a lot better and gives us a pretty nice little healing feature that is much more useful in the long run than what we had before, which was bonus action and heal a little bit, right? This allows you to heal a lot more often and a lot better. So I like that there. And finally, the 14th level feature, Indestructible Life. This is pretty much completely different. It is not at all like what you have seen prior. So what this is we can now attempt to bring others to death with us, right? We're on the verge of death. We're on the verge of undeath, I guess. And so we can now try to bring people with us. So when a creature that we can see reduces our HP to 0, we can use our reaction to force it to make a charisma saving throw against our spell saving throw DC. If it fails, that creature drops to 0 hit points, and we regain the number of hit points that creature had. I think this is an incredibly strong feature, and I've not seen this on anything really. I don't know that there is a feature out there like this. I just thought that this would be kind of fun, and it's an interesting way of the Uno Reverse card is basically what this is Uno Reverse. So that could be cool. Now, if it's after a big slugfest and your opponent's on 2 HP and you swap places, are you all that much better off? Not really, but it's totally fine. Either way, your number is not 0, which is great. However, on a successful save, the creature is going to take 5d10 necrotic damage. Now, this is half of Hurl Through Hell, right, which we talked about back with the Fiend, and so this is still decent damage right now, but it's only once per long rest. I felt like this needed to be a once per rest thing. I'm usually not a huge fan of the once per rest thing, but I felt like something like this is very potentially game changing, and so it needs to be a once per kind of thing. So yeah, if something makes the save, then you know, it goes away. There's no getting it back, unfortunately, but still, I think that this is a really strong feature, and definitely could create a crazy situation. So that is our fix for today. I hope you all enjoyed that. Make sure to check out all of this down below. Make sure to be here for the live stream on Thursday, and then we are going to be covering the Wizard 1 week from today, and there's also some other exciting stuff coming in that video as well, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Until then, stay safe out there, stay healthy. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.